Hello, welcome back. We have sent HTTP request with Python and got the response results in the last video, as we can see here in my notebook. And I will demonstrate to you select some of those data and store them into database for further usage. I will use SQL Alchemy and build the engine and session with database server in the first step. In order to split the content, maybe I will add some markdown over here. Here I'm going to say the first one is this one is going to be maybe weibo requester class. Right. Now with this, find another markdown over here. We're going to say this is a store request or response result. Response results into database. Select markdown, run. Now let's try to build engine and session with a database server. So we will say from SQL Alchemy and import the create engine and metadata, and we also use a session maker SQL Alchemy and .rm and import session maker. Now the first step, we're going to create the engine so that we can build the connection with the database as we did in earlier videos. So we're going to say engine is equal to create engine, and the database type is going to be PostgreSQL, and the username is Postgres, and here my password is 123, and then the server address is localhost, and I'm going to use the default port, which is 5432, and the database I'm going to connect is Postgres. Now let's try to get the metadata bind with the database engine so that we can get a handle database tables in the later after when we try to either insert data into our database or create a table. So here we're going to say metadata is equal to metadata, and let's say bind equal to engine. Here I'm going to say engine, and also create a session equal to session maker bind with above engine. Now we can new a session. This is the instance of this session, so that we can build our session to the database and have a conversation with the server, and like we can insert and update the tables. Now we're going to say session. Let's try. What's wrong with it? Oh, here I have bad spelling over here. Okay, so far so good. Now the next step, we're going to create a table in the database server. Here we have no table, as you can see. I can refresh over here. We have no table over here. Now let's try to create a table and install the data we want. Let's have a look the response result and see which kind of data we want stored to our database. Maybe we want to store or create time and text definitely, and ID also it's quite important. maybe user ID as well, so that we can associate with Weibo and users. So let's try to create the table. Here we're going to say from SQL Alchemy. Actually, you can create table on the database with SQL directly, or use those visual tools. Here, I'm going to use SQL Alchemy to create tables in order to you can reappear more easily. Here, I'm going to say import. So as we can see, SQL Alchemy is very powerful. We can create table and insert table, delete table, etc. So we will use a table and say weibo table equal to table, and we will say we will give a name of the table we will use in the later. We use them doing this with table weibo, and then metadata. Now let's create corresponding column. Okay, so we need the column. Copy column. The first column we're going to say is ID, and let's see which kind of data type it have. It's a long number, so we do better use string or databases varchar to store this variable. The integer cannot hold this such big number. Let's back to the notebook, and here we're going to say string. This is our primary key, so we will say primary key true. And then we will create the second column. Oh, we do not have this string yet. This string is from SQL Alchemy, not the built-in string. Okay, so here we're going to say user ID and string still. And let us have a look what else we want to store into database. Text is a long sentence maybe, so we may use text column and text. We will use text, so we need to import the text, and also the created time. So say created time column created time. And in this situation, we will say this is a date time type, so we need to import date type. Right, and then after all this is done, we need to use metadata to create the table. Weibo table. Let's try to create the table. Oh, we missed a column over here. Still, maybe I do not have to pass the table handler into this function. Rerun all the cells. Let's say whether going to be successful. Okay, seems it has been successfully created. Let's go to database and have a confirm. Let's refresh. Okay, we got the table over here, as you can see, but currently the table is empty, so we will try to parse the results and insert some of the results into this table. So the second step, we're going to say, let's define a function called insert weibo, and we will save data. In order to insert data into database, we probably need another tool called the SQL alchemy.sql and import insert. Okay, now we can say I is equal to insert. We will give the weibo table over here. Okay, as you can see, actually the weibo will be a list because we have more than one weibo. In this step, as you can see here, is have the first weibo over here, the second weibo over here. So we should iterate all the weibos out and get the corresponding data and store into our database. So let's iterate the weibo for weibo into in data. Here we're going to say I is equal to I dot value. It's more like the SQL insert sentence. So we're going to say in this way. Here in just we use dictionary to do that. The first column is ID. Actually, as you can see, JSON file is just perfectly match the dictionary data type as we talked in the Python tutorial. So we can just use get method and pass the key of the dictionary so that we can get the value. So we can do in this way, get and weibo. Here we're going to say ID, and the second column is going to be user ID, and we're going to weibo get. Let's back to the data. So we have weibo first and get a user and then get its ID. So we need to get method in order to get that value. So first we need to get users and then get user ID. Okay, so the third is we're going to get the text of the weibo. So weibo, just get text. Lastly, we will get the created art. Actually, when the weibo is posted up. So we're going to say created art and weibo get. Actually, this is a data type, so we cannot pass in this way. It's not a string, so we need a tool to pass the date. So we probably should do in this way, from date util, and we're going to import the parser. Every time when we get the weibo, we will say create the at is equal to parse dot parse, and we will pass this value into that, and then we'll use this value over here to make it more clear. Now, after we have this insert statement, we need to use session to execute. Once we got the execute, maybe we can commit after the for loop is over, so that we can commit a bunch. Commit. So let's try to insert. Oh, here should be colon. We got an error over here. Oh, here is an extra parenthesis over here. Let's try. Okay, it's successfully. Okay, now let's try to call the function. Here we're going to say insert weibo, and we're going to pass the status JSON. We will give the data inside of the status, so we will say in this way. And now let's try to run it. Let's confirm whether the data is inserted. Okay, as you can see, the data has been inserted successfully. Okay, that's all. See you in next video.